Good morning, friends. We'll start. Section 10, page 653, dismantling and reconstruction. All reconstruction work must be authorized by the authorized inspector or the engineer experienced in the storage tank design prior to commencement of the work by reconstruction organization. The authorized inspector will designate inspection hold points required during reconstruction process and minimum documentation to be submitted upon job completion. The authorized inspector or an engineer experienced in the storage tank design shall approve all reconstruction work at the designated hold points and after reconstruction has been completed in accordance with the requirements of the standard. The tank shall be cleaned and gas freed prior to the commencement of dismantling. Roof, shell and bottom plates may be cut into any size pieces that are readily transportable to the new site for reconstruction. Bottom plates that will be reused shall be cut by disseaming the lap welds or by cutting alongside of the remaining welds of a minimum of 2 inch away from the existing welds, except where cuts cross existing weld seams. If the bottom is to be used, one of the following methods is acceptable. The bottom plates may be cut from the cell along a line AA, line BB shown in figure 10.1, scrapping the welds or the bottom plates directly attached to the cell. If the entire bottom is to be reused, the bottom may be cut from the cell on the line CC, leaving the cell with part of the bottom attached. If the tank has an existing butt welded annular ring, the ring can be left attached to the cell or removed from the cell by cutting out along the line BB or otherwise removing the existing cell to annular ring belts. Any cell ring may be dismantled by cutting out the existing weld seam and the heat affected zone hedge of the weld. For the purpose of this method, the minimum hedge to be removed will be half of the weld metal width or 1/4 inch, whichever is less, on both sides of weld seam. Any cell ring half inch thick or thinner may be dismantled by cutting through the weld without removing the hedge. Cell rings may be dismantled by cutting vertical and horizontal cuts through the cell a minimum of 6 inch away from the existing welds, except where cuts cross existing welds. Roof plates shall be cut by disseaming of lap welds or by cutting alongside the remaining welds at a minimum of 2 inch away from the existing welds, except where cut cross existing welds. Cell bottom and roof plates shall be marked prior to dismantling for ready identification and placement when the tank is reconstructed. Marking materials shall be of durable type. Drawings showing piece mark location are also useful urgent. A minimum of 2 sets of matching center punch marks shall be located on the top and bottom edges of each cell plate to facilitate proper alignment during the reconstruction. New vertical joints in adjacent cell cores made in accordance with 10.3.3.1 shall not be aligned, but shall be offset from each other a minimum distance of 5 T, where T is the plate thickness of the thicker cores at the point of offset. No welding of any kind shall be performed when the surface of the parts to be welded are wet from rain, snow, ice, when rain or snow is falling on such surfaces, or during period of high winds, unless the welder and the work are properly shielded. No welding of any kind shall be performed when the temperature of the base metal is less than 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature of the base metal is between 0 degrees Fahrenheit and 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or the thickness is in excess of 1 inch. The base metal within 3 inch of the piece where welding is to be started shall be heated to a temperature 1 to the hand before welding. For preheat requirements for cell plates over 1.5 inch thick, each layer of weld metal of multi-layer welding shall be cleaned of slag and other deposits before the next layer is applied. The reinforcement of the new welds on the butt joints on each side of the plate shall not exceed the thickness shown in the figure, less than half inch. Vertical joints 3/32, horizontal joints 1/8. Greater than half inch through 1/8 inch vertical and 3/16 for horizontal. Greater than 1 inch is 3/16 for vertical and 1/4 for horizontal. So tack welds used in assembly of vertical joints or tack cells shall be removed and shall not remain in the finished joint when the joints are welded manually. Tack welds shall be made using fillet weld or butt weld procedure qualification in accordance with Section 9 SME code. Tack welds to be left in place shall be made by qualified welders. If weldable primer coating have been applied on the surface to be welded, they shall be included in the welding procedure qualification tests for the brand formulation and maximum thickness of primer applied. All other coatings shall be completely removed from the weld area prior to welding. Low hydrogen electrodes shall be used for manual metal arc welding, including the attachment of the first cell cores to the bottom plates or annular plate ring as follows. For all welds in the cell cores over half inch thick API 650 group 1 3 materials. For the welds in all cell cores API 650 group 4 and 6 material 4 to 6. Okay, low hydrogen electrodes shall be used for welding temporary and new permanent attachment to cells or API 650 group 4, 4A, 5 or 6 materials. The welding procedure selected shall not cause underbit cracking. Also, the need for preheat of thick plates and the effect of low ambient temperature during the welding shall be considered. After the bottom plates are laid out and tacked, they shall be joined by welding the joints in a sequence that result in the least distortion from shrinkage and provides as nearly as possible a plane surface. The welding of the cell to the bottom except the door cell shall be completed prior to welding of bottom joints. Misalignment in completed vertical joint over 5 by 8 inch thick cell shall not exceed 10% of the plate thickness with a maximum of 1/8 inch. Misalignment in joints 5/8 inch thick or less shall not exceed 1/16 inch vertical. So if it is 5/8 inch, then misalignment allowed is 1/8 inch. That is 3 mm only, and it is 1/16, 1.5 for vertical. 1/16, I think so. Am I right? Yeah, 1.6, 1.5, 1.6 mm maximum for less than 5 by 8 inch thick. An incomplete horizontal butt weld, the upper plate shall not project beyond the face of the lower plate at any point more than 20% of the thickness of the upper plate, with maximum projection of 1/8 inch, except that a projection of 1/16 inch is acceptable for upper plates less than 5 by 16 inch thick. For horizontal and vertical joints of tank cell cores constructed in material over 1.5 inch thick, based on the thickness of the thicker plate, the joint, multi-pass weld procedures are required and no pass more than 3 by 4 inch thick is permitted. A minimum preheat of 200 degrees Fahrenheit is required of these welds. The maximum out of roundness of the top of the cell relative to the bottom of the cell shall not exceed 1 by 100 of total tank height with a maximum of 5 inch. The 1 by 100 criteria, the maximum of 5 inch shall also apply to fixed roof columns. For tanks with internal floating roofs, apply the criteria of section API 650, section 7.5.2, API 650, section H4.1.1, whichever is more stringent. The maximum out of luminous the cell relative to the bottom of the cell shall not exceed 1 by 100 of the total tank height. Or something. ये इधर था, इधर घुमाने के टाइम वो धीरे से भाग गया। कर सकते हैं। Radii measured in 1 foot above the cell to bottom well shall not exceed the tolerance shown in table point 2. Tank by diameter greater than 40, sorry, less than 40 is plus minus half inch radius tolerance. 40 to 150 plus minus 3 by 4 inch. 150 to 250 plus minus 1 inch. Greater than 250 plus minus 1/4 inch. Peaking with a horizontal strip board 36-inch long. Peaking shall not exceed half inch. The strip board shall be made from the true outside radius of the tank. With a vertical strip board 36-inch long, bending shall not exceed 1 inch. Where concrete ring walls are provided under the cell, the top of the ring wall shall level plus minus 1/8 inch in any 30 foot of the circumference and within plus minus 1/4 inches in the total circumference measured from the average elevation. Where concrete ring walls are not provided, the foundation under the cell shall be within plus minus 1/8 inch in any 10 foot of, in any 30 foot, that is, in any 10 foot of circumference, and within half inch in the total circumference measured from the average elevation. It is 30 foot and circumference, and with 1/4 inch in the total circumference measured from the average elevation. Foundation specified to be sloped from a horizontal plane. Elevation difference about the circumference shall be calculated from the specified high point. Actual elevation difference about circumference shall be determined from the actual elevation of the specified high point. The actual elevation difference shall not deviate from the calculated difference by more than following tolerance. Where the concrete ring wall are provided 1 by 8 inch for any 30 foot of circumference and 1 by 4 inch in the total circumference. Where concrete ring wall are not provided 1 by 8 inch in any 10 foot of the circumference and half inches in the total circumference.